Hi, my name is Jeff Morgan, and one thing we don't talk about as conservatives is the issue of intact families, strong families, and how lack of that creates children that are going to be the new Democrats. Currently in the state of Texas, we have 1.5 million children who are being raised in single-parent households. This is the new pipeline of Democrats coming forward. Every bit as bad as what we talk about people coming across the border. Our party has not been really strong at addressing this issue. This is the root cause issue. If we do not address the issues that pertain to our families and strengthen our families, we are going to get wiped out, if not by illegals coming in or people coming in from California, but from this new generation of Democrats that we're allowing to race because, as Jeff said, attorneys are controlling things.
Yeah.
And Democrats are controlling things.
You're absolutely right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to be here is that, I mean, literally yesterday and the day before, Don was on Twitter attacking and issuing statements about the people who are putting the transgender ideology in our schools. And this isn't just because it's an uncomfortable, inappropriate thing. It's because this is a leftist Marxist indoctrination program that is ordered to disrupt natural order. It's to attack the American family. And you can see what the swamp did by looking at what Jeff Kaysen did, where he tried to stop the propagation of pornography and how they went after him. Jeff, talk about that.
Well, HB 5 was one of the hallmark pieces of legislation for Governor Abbott, and very important to him. And we decided that in order for...
Now, this was the rural broadband expansion bill.
I'm sorry, yes. And so we decided in order for providers to get to the front of the line, because we suspected there would be a lot of companies wanting to provide this service and take part in this growth opportunity, that any of these providers that would be willing to turn their porn filters on rather than leave them off would be given priority status and moved to the front of the line for consideration and working with the state. Initially, Trent Ashby, who was carrying this in the House, he really didn't like the idea. Promised, hey, just pull that amendment. We'll address it next session. I promise I'll help you, get that a standalone bill. I decided that wasn't a good idea. Went forward with it. It passed the House by 91 votes. It went to the Senate, and Senator Nichols stripped it out. It came back. To Trent Ashby's credit, he refused to accept it. It went to conference. I think he knew all the while it was going to be left out. They came back and said, we promise we'll do a study. Well, how many studies have been done about the negative and adverse impact of porn on children, men, families, marriages, across the board? They're countless. That was the movie prize, and I got them. And so, because of that, I took a lot of heat behind the scenes. A lot of people were down on me, for a lot of other reasons, but that was a big one because I dared to step out and put that amendment, which so many people thought was a good idea, especially 91 legislators. But nevertheless, it was an adverse reaction behind the scenes by people that publicly, in their public face, were supporting it. But behind the scenes, they didn't want anything to do with it. And you know why? Because Spectrum, AT&T, and all these other big companies didn't want that filter turned on. They wanted it turned off. So, the big lie that I got from so many was, it can't be done. The morning after the vote, I had 2 providers come into my Capitol office and tell me, it'll be a challenge, but this can be done, and we can do it. So, those are the kind of things that go on down there, and
I have to say this, it's not about the state of Texas, but will impact the state of Texas. This Build Back Better bill, y'all heard about this? Okay, let me tell you, it is, from what I have been told, Don Huffines will be our first line of defense. And I'll tell you this, I have been told in our briefing, this is the most dangerous piece of legislation Stephen Gore has heard in 30 years. You want to talk about the family? They're attacking the family. Yeah. They're going to make child care providers, parents that that are in the state of Texas that run their own home daycare, gone. You have to have a college degree. Mother's Day out at churches, gone. They want them gone. This is what's happening here. I have 42 of the most dangerous pieces of legislation in this bill. So you want to talk about the family they want to destroy, if they're going to penalize marriage, that's in this bill as well. That's why people don't realize they have to get involved locally, especially with Don Huffines. He's going to be our line of defense. If I could go and show you everything that's in this bill, it would make you sick. They're after the family. They want to raise your children. They want to unionize everything. They want everything to be 90 to 95% unionized in this state. Every job, everything. So when I say they're coming after the family, like you said, they're coming after the family hard. And there's only going to be one person. Don said earlier that the governor can do anything that he wants at any time. When it comes to a bill like this, Governor Abbott should be fighting tooth and nail with what's coming out in this bill, but they're not. They're just turning a cold shoulder. So that's why he doesn't realize this stuff gets passed, his role is going to grow even more, because he's going to be our first line of defense when it comes to the federal government, because it's bad. They're out to seek and destroy, and they're not, and as you notice this, no one in office, even in Texas, no one's talking about what's in this bill whatsoever. So you will realize why this race is so important after you read what's going on in this bill, because he's the one that's going to go fight for it, for all of us.